A human walked into an alien combat arena carrying a wooden crate. Inside that crate was a creature that had survived since the age of dinosaurs. A predator so deadly that it kills thousands every year on Earth. The aliens had asked for Earth's most dangerous beast. They expected wolves, maybe bears, perhaps tigers. They got a saltwater crocodile. What happened next became the most watched event in galactic history. The alien champion didn't just lose, he was destroyed in under 90 seconds, and the entire council watched in absolute horror. But here's what they didn't show you in the reports. The alien had brought a juvenile, a young crocodile that wasn't even fully grown. The aliens realized too late that humans don't bring their best predators to prove a point. They bring the ones they can control. Because the real monsters back on Earth, those are off limits. This single event changed how every species in the galaxy views humanity. It revealed 3 terrifying truths that still shake alien civilizations today. First, Earth isn't just dangerous. It's a death world where apex predators fight each other for territory. Second, humans don't just survive alongside these creatures. They study them, hunt them, and somehow keep them as pets. Third, and this is the part that terrifies them most, humans weren't trying to intimidate anyone. They were just answering a question honestly. The Galactic Council had spent centuries ranking species by their home world's danger level. They thought they understood predators. They thought they knew what made a species tough. Then they met Earth. Let me show you exactly how this happened, why it changed everything, and what the aliens discovered about humanity that they wish they could forget. The Galactic Federation had a tradition. Every new species joining the council had to participate in the proving grounds. It was a test of strength, courage, and understanding. Each species brought a native predator from their home world. These beasts would face each other in controlled combat, not to the death, but until one creature submitted. It was ceremonial, symbolic, a way to measure the dangers each species had overcome to reach the stars. For 3,000 years, this tradition held steady. The Kravik brought their 6-legged hunters, the Theron brought armored shell beasts, the Zelthari brought venomous serpents that could spit acid. Every creature was impressive. Every battle was calculated. Then humanity applied for membership. The council was curious about humans. They had watched Earth from a distance for decades. They saw cities, technology, and art. They saw a species that had split the atom and touched their own moon. But they also saw something else on the sensor readings. Earth's biodiversity readings were off the charts. The planet had more predator species than any world in known space. The atmospheric oxygen levels were dangerously high. The gravity was intense. Even the microorganisms were aggressive. Every council member who reviewed Earth's file came to the same conclusion. This was a death world, but humans seemed so friendly, so diplomatic. They smiled easily, made jokes, offered gifts. The ambassador, Marcus Webb, even brought coffee and cookies to the first meeting. The aliens thought maybe the scans were wrong. Maybe Earth wasn't that dangerous after all. So they issued the standard invitation: bring a predator, show us what you've overcome, prove that your species has earned its place among the stars. They expected something manageable. Every species brought creatures they could control. The unspoken rule was simple: impress us, but don't actually terrify us. Marcus Webb nodded politely. He said he understood perfectly. He would bring something appropriate, something that represented Earth's challenges. The council relaxed. They even scheduled the proving grounds as the opening ceremony. It would be a celebration, a chance for humanity to show off a little. They had no idea what was coming. Now here's where things get really interesting. Marcus Webb arrived at the arena with a transport crate. The crate was 10 feet long, 4 feet wide, 3 feet tall. It was made of reinforced steel with breathing holes. The aliens could hear something moving inside, something heavy. The crate scraped against the floor as 4 humans struggled to position it at the arena entrance. The Kravik champion was already waiting. He was 8 feet tall with 4 arms and natural bone plating. His species had won the proving grounds 12 times in a row. Their predator was a creature called a Renth. It looked like a tiger mixed with a bear, covered in spikes, fast, aggressive, and smart enough to use pack tactics. The Renth paced the arena, growling. The crowd of alien dignitaries watched from safe viewing platforms. They were excited. The humans had seemed so peaceful that everyone wondered what kind of predator they could possibly bring. Maybe some Earth canine. Perhaps a large cat. Marcus Webb opened the crate. The smell hit first. It was the scent of stagnant water mixed with something ancient and reptilian. The Renth stopped pacing. Its predator instincts triggered. This wasn't prey. This wasn't even a competitor. This was something else entirely. The crocodile emerged slowly. It was 14 feet long from snout to tail. Its body was covered in armored scales that looked like prehistoric plating. Each scale was harder than bone. Its eyes were cold and calculating. Yellow with vertical slits. Those eyes had evolved to spot prey at the waterline, to calculate distance and strike speed in milliseconds. The jaws came next. A crocodile's bite is the strongest of any animal on Earth. Over 3,000 pounds of pressure per square inch. Strong enough to crush bone like crackers. Strong enough to drag a buffalo underwater. This particular crocodile was a male saltwater species, the largest living reptile on the planet, and it was only 7 years old. The aliens didn't understand at first. They saw a large lizard moving slowly across the arena floor. The Renth saw dinner. It charged forward with confidence. The crowd leaned in expecting a quick fight. What happened next lasted 3 seconds. The crocodile's tail whipped sideways faster than the sensors could track. It hit the Renth like a battering ram. The alien predator flew 12 feet through the air and crashed into the arena wall. Before it could recover, the crocodile closed the distance. That moment changed everything. Crocodiles don't chase. They don't hunt like mammals. They explode. 0 to 30 miles per hour in a single motion. The Renth tried to dodge, but crocodile reactions are hardwired from millions of years of evolution. The jaws snapped shut on the alien creature's shoulder. The Kravik handlers screamed for a halt. Marcus Webb calmly pressed a button, a frequency only the crocodile could hear. It released immediately and backed away. But if you think that's crazy, wait until you hear this. The medical teams rushed in to check the Renth. It was alive but traumatized. 4 broken ribs, a fractured shoulder joint, bite marks that had pierced through its natural armor like paper. The Kravik were furious. They demanded to know what kind of monster humanity had unleashed. Marcus Webb explained calmly that crocodile was young, not even a quarter of its potential size. Saltwater crocodiles can grow up to 23 feet long and weigh over 2,000 pounds. They live up to 70 years. They've existed largely unchanged for over 80 million years because their design is perfect. The aliens went silent. Marcus continued, crocodiles are ambush predators. They can hold their breath for hours underwater. They can survive months without food. Their immune system is so powerful they heal from injuries in swamp water that would kill most creatures from infection. Their bite force increases as they grow. The largest specimens have never been measured because they're too dangerous to approach, and humans share the planet with them. The council member from Theta Prime asked the obvious question, how do humans survive around such creatures? Marcus smiled. We hunt them. The arena fell completely quiet. Hunt them. These apex predators that just dismantled a galactic champion in seconds. The humans hunt them for sport, not just sport. Marcus corrected. We hunt them for population control, for protection. Some cultures eat them. Others use their skins for leather goods. We've built entire tourism industries around watching them in the wild. Parents take their children to sanctuaries, where hundreds of crocodiles live in contained habitats. The Zelthari ambassador spoke up. His voice shook. How many humans die to these creatures each year? Marcus pulled up a datapad. Roughly 1,000 worldwide. But most of those deaths are in remote areas where humans ignore safety protocols. The crocodiles aren't hunting us. We're just entering their territory without proper respect. 1,000 deaths per year, and humanity treats them like a manageable nuisance. The aliens began pulling up Earth's database. They found videos of humans wrestling crocodiles. Steve Irwin jumping on them for educational television. Tour guides in Australia feeding them by hand. Children watching them through glass at zoos while eating ice cream. Then they found the really disturbing part. Crocodiles weren't even in Earth's top 10 deadliest animals. Mosquitoes killed hundreds of thousands of humans annually. Hippos killed more people than crocodiles. Even Earth's own domesticated dogs killed dozens of humans every year. The Kravik champion's handler stood up. His voice was barely a whisper. What else lives on your planet? Marcus Webb's expression didn't change. Would you like the list by lethality, or by size? This brings us to the most shocking discovery of all. The Council demanded a full planetary assessment. They sent their best xenobiologists to review Earth's complete ecosystem. What they found wasn't just shocking. It was apocalyptic. Earth wasn't a planet where life survived. It was a planet where survival itself was warfare. The report highlighted species that shouldn't exist. Box jellyfish with venom that could kill a human in minutes. Poison dart frogs that stored toxins so deadly that touching them was fatal. Coned snails that could pierce diving suits with harpoon-like teeth. The Brazilian wandering spider, whose bite caused excruciating pain and respiratory failure. But that was just the small stuff. Blue whales that weighed over 200 tons. Animals so large they would collapse under their own weight on any high-gravity world. Yet Earth's oceans held thousands of them. Great white sharks that could smell a drop of blood from 3 miles away. Orcas that hunted in packs with learned tactical knowledge passed down through generations. The land wasn't any safer. African elephants that could flip vehicles with their trunks. Grizzly bears that could shatter skulls with a single paw swipe. Anacondas that could swallow prey whole by unhinging their jaws. Each species was an apex predator in its own right. Each had evolved to survive in Earth's hyper-competitive environment. And humans sat at the top, not because humans were stronger, not because they were bigger or more venomous. Humans dominated through something far more terrifying. Intelligence combined with relentless determination. The report showed human history. Early humans hunted mammoths to extinction using nothing but spears and coordination. They survived ice ages that would have wiped out most spacefaring species. They domesticated wolves into dogs, turned wild horses into transportation, bred wild cattle into livestock. Humans didn't just survive Earth's death world conditions, they conquered them. The Zelthari ambassador asked the question everyone was thinking. If humans are this dangerous, why do they seem so peaceful? The xenobiologist report had an answer. It was terrifying in its simplicity. Humans evolved to be social because Earth's predators forced cooperation. Pack tactics, tribal warfare, nation-states. Every level of human organization was a response to planetary-level threats. They learned diplomacy because the alternative was extinction. They learned restraint because their own weapons became too dangerous even for them. Humans didn't become peaceful because they were weak. They became peaceful because they were so deadly that warfare between themselves threatened their entire species. The Council reviewed footage of human history. World wars fought with industrial weapons. Nuclear bombs tested in deserts. Chemical weapons banned by international treaty. Humans had weaponized everything from biology to atoms. Then they voluntarily stopped using the worst of them. Not because they couldn't win with those weapons. Because winning wasn't worth the cost. So what does all this mean for us today? The Proving Grounds tradition ended that day. No other species wanted to bring their predators after seeing what Earth produced naturally. The Council realized they had been measuring danger all wrong. They had focused on individual combat strength, armor thickness, venom potency, bite force. They never considered environment as the ultimate teacher. Earth's survival pressure created something unique in the galaxy. Species that evolved to endure anything, to adapt constantly, to overcome impossible odds through cooperation and innovation. The crocodile wasn't special because it was big or strong. It was special because it represented the baseline, the minimum level of danger required to survive on Earth long enough to reproduce. Every species on that planet had cleared the same impossible hurdle: adapt or die, evolve or be erased. The competition was so fierce that creatures developed abilities that seemed impossible. Electric eels that generated 600 volts.
octopi that could edit their own RNA to adapt to temperature changes, tardigrades that could survive in the vacuum of space. Earth didn't create one or two successful strategies. It created thousands of them simultaneously. The Council's Strategic Defense Committee met in private. They discussed what humanity's membership would mean for galactic politics. A species from a death world wasn't just tougher. They were problem solvers at a fundamental level. When humans faced obstacles, they didn't adapt their bodies over generations. They invented tools in years. The Kravik military requested files on human warfare. What they found kept their generals awake for weeks. Humans had developed tactics for every environment: desert warfare, jungle combat, Arctic survival, urban warfare, naval battles, orbital combat. Space warfare was still theoretical for most species. Humans already had doctrine and training for it. But here's what really changed the political landscape. Other species began requesting human security consultants. If humans could survive Earth, maybe they could help protect colonies on dangerous frontier worlds. Planets with aggressive wildlife, hostile weather patterns, toxic atmospheres. The jobs humans considered normal were nightmare assignments for everyone else. Mining asteroids. Humans did it. Deep-sea construction. Humans volunteered. Radiation cleanup. Humans had protocols. Every dangerous job in the galaxy suddenly had a new preferred workforce. Not because humans were expendable, because they were prepared. The economic shift happened within 5 years. Human labor became premium. Not cheap. Premium because hiring a human meant hiring someone who wouldn't panic when things went wrong, who would troubleshoot under pressure, who would find solutions in chaos. Earth's death world environment had trained the perfect crisis workers. The cultural impact was even deeper. Human entertainment became wildly popular. Action movies where humans fought impossible odds. Survival shows where they thrived in deadly environments. Cooking shows where they prepared foods that would poison other species. The galaxy became obsessed with understanding how humans thought. What made them so different? Why did they laugh at danger? How did they stay calm during disasters? Before we wrap up, there's one final thing you need to know. Marcus Webb gave one last demonstration before leaving the proving grounds. He walked into the arena alone. No weapons, no protective gear, just a human standing 50 feet from a saltwater crocodile. The alien dignitaries watched through reinforced glass. Security teams had weapons ready. Marcus knelt down and waited. The crocodile turned its ancient eyes toward him, calculated, measured. This was an apex predator making a decision. Attack or ignore, fight or conserve energy. Every alien in that arena knew they were watching something primal. Marcus made a clicking sound with his tongue. The crocodile moved toward him slowly, not charging, walking. It approached within 15 feet, 10 feet, 5 feet, close enough that one lunge would be fatal. Marcus remained perfectly still. The crocodile stopped, tilted its head slightly. Then it turned away and returned to its crate. The aliens were stunned into silence. The Kravik ambassador finally spoke. "How did you do that?" Marcus stood up and brushed dust off his knees. "I raised this crocodile from an egg, fed it by hand for 2 years, trained with it every day, built a relationship based on consistency and respect. The clicking sound means food is coming soon. The crocodile knows me." He paused and looked at the assembled council. "Every dangerous creature on Earth can be understood, studied, predicted. We don't survive by being stronger. We survive by being smarter, by learning patterns, by respecting what can kill us while refusing to fear it. That's what makes humans different." The council approved humanity's membership that evening. No debate, no discussion. The vote was unanimous, but it came with a request. The Galactic Federation wanted to establish an embassy on Earth, not to monitor humans, to learn from them. They wanted to study how a death world species developed cooperation, how they built civilizations despite constant threats, how they maintained optimism in an environment designed to kill them. Earth became the galaxy's most important educational resource. And that crocodile, it lived another 40 years in a sanctuary on Earth. Its name was Brutus. Children visited it weekly. It never hurt anyone, because humans understand something the galaxy is still learning. If this opened your eyes, the next part will blow your mind. Let's recap what we just uncovered. First, Earth is a death world where survival requires constant adaptation and intelligence. Second, humans became apex predators not through strength but through cooperation and tool use. Third, the galaxy's entire understanding of danger and capability shifted after one demonstration with a juvenile crocodile. But here's what you really need to remember. The aliens thought they were measuring toughness. Instead, they discovered something far more important. They learned that environment shapes capability, that pressure creates innovation, that the most dangerous species aren't always the most aggressive. Sometimes they're the most prepared. This story represents a core truth about humanity. We thrive in chaos. We solve problems under pressure. We adapt faster than conditions change. These aren't random traits. They're survival skills hardened over millions of years on a planet that never stopped testing us. And we're just getting started. The galactic community is still discovering what human membership means. New stories emerge every week. Humans solving engineering problems that stumped alien scientists for decades. Human diplomats negotiating peace treaties through methods no one else considered. Human artists creating works that transcend species barriers. Each success traces back to the same origin. Earth made us different, not better. Different. We bring perspectives shaped by surviving the unsurvivable. We ask questions others don't think to ask. We see solutions in places others see obstacles. That crocodile opened a door. Behind that door was humanity's true introduction to the galaxy. Not as warriors. No. Not as conquerors. As survivors who learned to thrive. As builders who refused to quit. As dreamers who wouldn't accept limitations. The galaxy is watching what humans do next. If you found this story fascinating, you need to see what happens when humans introduce aliens to Earth's oceans. The leviathans down there make crocodiles look like house pets. I've got a video covering that story that will absolutely change how you see humanity's place in the galaxy. Hit that subscribe button if you want more stories about humanity's unique position in the universe. These tales reveal truths about who we are and what makes us special. Not through bragging, through demonstration. Drop a comment telling me which Earth predator you think would shock aliens the most. Hippos, box jellyfish, honey badgers, polar bears. I read every comment and your answers might inspire the next video. The like button helps push this content to others who love science fiction with real substance. Stories that make you think. Stories that celebrate human resilience without turning us into caricatures. This channel explores humanity fuck yes stories through realistic lenses. We examine what actually makes humans special. Not superpowers. Not plot armor. Real evolutionary advantages born from real environmental pressures. The galaxy is bigger than we imagined. Humanity's role in it is still being written. And every story we share adds another chapter to that ongoing epic. Thanks for watching. Now go check out that ocean video. Trust me on this one.